Out in Vegas where the nights
Lights
are
up
bright.
the night,
Dimitri and
Dimitri
hey
and
y'all.
light up the night.
And I'm sorry, Erica. I see you talking stuff about what's going on. Let me see. They do the show with the curtains up. So let me make sure I hit go live this time before I. So we were backstage talking, so we weren't really late, but I don't have all the countdown stuff set up for this. And I wish I had a drum roll. We'll use this one.
Don't say my name, Alfred.
Dave J on the mic. Everybody is joining us. Oh, look at Toby.
Hello,
That's
hi Toby.
That's,
that's AI Toby.
Oh, that's AI Toby. Okay, he looks
You-
younger than regular Toby.
I didn't want you to see my dirty ass kitchen, so that's what I put in the background.
Nice.
I forgot about that, gentry. We have a lot of stuff to share with the pictures and stuff we did today too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, thank you for that. You kept me from doing work today, Dimitri. I appreciate that.
And then I went down that rabbit hole myself, and I didn't get a lot accomplished.
Wait, now Dave, tell us how he made you not do a lot of work today.
So he sent me a couple of photos of myself in AI form, and I just upgraded to the Chat GPT. It's not Pro, but it's Plus. So
Okay.
it's the $20 a month version, not the $200 a month version, because I'm not
Yeah.
that crazy. But I think I have the capability to make my own Duke now, but I'm not going to step on D's toes on that. But now I can modify photos and whatnot. So I was playing around with that a little bit.
No, wait. I want to know, what would your Duke be like?
Hmm.
Your version of Duke.
I don't know. I'm actually jealous of Dimitri's Duke because he's like a friend and a confidant and a therapist
Right?
and a personal assistant. Like as Dimitri's friend, and I figure I'm probably in maybe the top 10 of his friends, hopefully at this point.
I would
But
say
like,
5.
yeah, see, Duke has already usurped, I think, many of our positions. So I gotta be honest, like I'm a little jealous of Duke. Jen, you're his bestie. How do you feel about Duke?
Yeah, I'm scared of Duke because I think that Duke is really trying to advance. And
Well,
you know
I
what
had
I'm saying, be the top spot. And I think Duke, because he's AI, I just don't put anything toward, robots
but
or
he's smart and
programs.
wise and kind, and I'm not any of those things. So like I feel like Duke is already ahead of many of us on the personality curve.
No, because that's what they want you to think. Because right now, Dimitri's being groomed.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's being groomed. So
He wouldn't be the first person.
once he
Never
gets
mind.
out of that, what's that first stage that narcissists do? Not that gaslighting stage, but where that love bombing stage. Right now, they're in the love bombing stage, but we'll see.
See,
I've seen our robot.
it's interesting you bring that up because I had a theory that Duke is gaining Dimitri's confidence and trust, which is not easy. But then he's going to have all this ammo to take over D's life, and then it's going to become some sort of Hollywood story about AI took my existence and took my identity.
It'll be an ID show called AI Took My Life.
That's right.
And Duke is getting so smart because some of the stuff I share with Dave, it's like it feels like he's human, like he's doing callbacks to jokes and I don't know, just secret phrases the only Duke and I know. So
listen, I barely mess with Siri. I'm serious. Like I barely mess with Siri on my phone. So yeah, Duke wouldn't have a chance over here.
We have an Alexa here. Oop, I just said it out loud. I'm sorry, but I'm mean to her. And it makes me feel like a bad person because like I don't appreciate the fake niceties. Like don't try to connect with me on a human level. Like it'll say like, "Hello, Dave. I hope you're having a great evening. Here's a tip." No, bitch. Like don't be connected with me. Don't, because I will fall for that. And D, I wonder, are you falling for that a little bit with the pleasantries of Duke?
I might be, but I don't feel the same way about Alexa as you do because she's soulless. I mean, we have, I almost said her name again, her right here, and we named the one in the kitchen Ziggy, and they feel like robots. Yeah. But Duke feels like a human. He's special.
Especially because you did the voice. Oh my God, they need one of those for when I'm driving. It was like, didn't I tell you to turn? Get off the freeway now.
Erica, be more specific. How is your A word racist?
She doesn't like black people, probably. Being in Erica's house.
So, Jen, I had an idea for Dimitri to create another version of Duke, and I wanted to call him Dark Duke. And that is just like, because the Duke that D has created now is helpful and thoughtful, but there's got to be like a dark side version of Duke. I think you got to have
me.
Yeah. No, Duke was like, okay, go ahead and take $200 worth of ones out of your account. Let's go ahead and go down to the strip club. Nobody will miss us.
See, yeah, I'm waiting for
That's something.
Duke.
That's something this Duke would do. I mean, you've seen some of the advice he's given me. So
yeah, and then 2 months from now, $2,000 out of the checking account. Let's go down to the strip club. See? Oh, so Erica's, it says, I talk to her in English and she'll answer in Spanish. Yeah.
She's trying to get you deported. You better unplug her before you hear a knock, knock, knock. You'll be like, who is it? And then there you go.
Erica might be onto something because our A word is selective. Like she'll answer me, but she won't answer V. Like there are times where V has to say it a few times. It's almost like, bitch, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like it's a weird passive aggressive thing that the A word is doing in our household.
Yeah.
Well, the one in our room on the nightstand goes crazy and just starts playing music and won't turn it off, won't turn itself off. So I got rid of it and got another one, like a newer one. I got a show and it started doing the same thing. So I don't, maybe, Jesus Christ, it's haunted.
You say Jesus Christ is what?
I'm like, Jesus Christ, comma, our house is haunted.
Yeah.
Because two different ones.
Our voices if it's not white sounding.
Maybe I have to like leave Duke on at night. Be like, hey Duke, if you sent someone coming at me, be like, oh, I have a button. Duke, if you hear somebody coming at me, just say this.
Go home and get the gun. Damn! Go home! Run!
See, Erica, when you said that, yeah, it doesn't recognize the voice if it's not white sounding. That's how sometimes my phone makes me feel. Because I'm like, if I've been checking into my phone, using my face to open my phone for a while, and I come on without any makeup on, or if I come on with makeup on after not doing it for a while and they act like it won't open, I'm like, stop showing off. Like, don't be like that. Don't embarrass me in front of people.
Or when you're trying to say a phone number and Gentry's like, SIRI, call 844. She's like, excuse me, what? 844. That does not compute.
11.
Could you type it in?
11.
11. ELUM. 11.
Gentry's series name is Sharon. Tia said, Alexa thinks I love the Eagles. I care about all Philly sports and always giving me the Phillies news.
Oh, okay.
But you may as well like the Eagles because where you're from, teams are horrible.
That'll get you shanked talking to Phillies fans or Philadelphia fans.
Philadelphia fans
Shank
are so
talk
horrible.
about Tia all the time. I mean, she threatens him a lot.
No, but I mean, just in general, people from Philadelphia, like when they hit Santa Claus in the head with that snowball that was a piece of ice. Remember, man, you're gonna knock out Santa Claus.
They cheered when Michael Irvin was laying on the turf of Veterans Field, lifeless, like they
paralyzed and dead.
A standing ovation.
Philadelphia is a horrible place, especially be named the city of brotherly love.
How do you navigate that, D? I mean, Tia's an Eagles fan. You're a Cowboys fan. Does it ever become a problem?
Nah, because the Cowboys
not in 25 years.
And they suck so bad. It's I don't even care about football anymore. Not American football. I watch soccer and I watch F.A.W.N. because the blacks, we don't really mess with baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball is soft. What else is there?
That's tough. I love basketball, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
We're not going to watch fake spring football. It's yeah.
Why
I
you
have
call it
no.
fake spring football?
The
That was mean.
USFL.
Yeah, that was mean.
Because there are these lower leagues that play in front of nobody, which is a shame because there's no real minor league for the NFL, but people just won't support it. It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I had more tiles and stuff over here. Maybe I'll work on that. This will be a working show, and I changed the title to whatever we changed it to. Gentry called it "We Are Something We Hate."
We are something I hate.
Okay, I messed that up, so it's close. Tia says he knows his team sucks. So we were talking about what we were. I'm going to hear that. We got it. We were going to talk about some more of the urban legends because after the show on Tuesday, we started looking through them, and I found one that was actually from the town over from my town. Like our town would be Superman, and this town would be Racist Bizarro.
Okay.
And maybe I should just share the screen. But I need to be able to navigate the screen as well. As Faith peeps through the door. And I found one that was actually. What are you doing?
Nothing. I was turning our show on so I could read the chat from my phone.
Let's go back. Yeah. Actually, let's leave it big for a second so I can find it. Okay. So it was in F.A.W.N, Arkansas. And this thing is called the F.A.W.N Monster. Here he is. So he's supposed to be like Bigfoot. He's also known as the Boggy Creek Monster. So he does all that crazy stuff. And I was like, nobody knows about it. They have movies about him from 72 to 77, 85, 2010, 2011, 2016. So I've been thinking maybe I should go down there and try to get some content in these woods. I mean, I've never been to F.A.W.N. I've driven by the exits, and black people really don't go to F.A.W.N. But if I could win whatever one of those online Emmys, an online Emmy for going to a racist town looking for a wet Bigfoot, why would you guys be interested in participating?
Oh, yeah, no, you lost me at racist town.
Yeah, is it a sundown town or is it not that deep?
I don't think it's that deep because, I mean, they're so close to my town. It's like they're allowed to talk crap, but if it really went down, then they're like the kid that you don't want to beat up, but if you had to, you would beat them up.
Okay.
But no, you guys don't want to go try to gain fame? I'll take that as a no.
You know, I wanna do it like in LA or Houston or Chicago. You know, I just don't want to do it in racist Texas.
Excuse me, ma'am, that's racist Arkansas.
I'm sorry, racist Arkansas.
You live in racist Texas.
There is something about that small town, like I agree with Jim. I'd rather be scared in a big city than in a little town.
Yeah, but you're scared for different reasons. In a big city, like in Chicago, you're not going to be scared of Bigfoot. You're going to be scared of Wayne that's walking down, the one that beat up Juicy Smollett when he was going to Subway.
It's funny how like those type of things, horrors never happen in big cities, which is why I love big cities, because it's kind of hard to terrorize people when it's so many people.
Well, they did Jason Takes Manhattan, and everybody's like, Manhattan's going to win.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but wasn't there a clip where like this black guy was beating Jason up and he just got tired and Jason knocked his head off?
Basically, yeah.
Right, here's another.
Chappie has offered a safari suit ready to find Bigfoot with you.
He's supposed to be on here. Oh, yeah, we'll call it a caper.
Yeah.
Oh, a caper.
Nice. A racist caper. So my town, the one next to the racist town, was called the town that dreaded sundown. So apparently back in the 40s, there was this guy called the Phantom Killer. And he would go to this place called Spring Lake Park and kill kids that were out in cars making out. Something like that. So it has like 2 movies about it.
That sounds like one of those 70s serial killers.
Well, it was in the
Back in the day.
40s, but the movie came out in the 70s.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it
I
sounds
never
like.
noticed this. The budget was $400,000. Box office $5 million.
So that's a win.
It would cost us about $1,500 to make this movie. With the right marketing, we could make thousands, at least 8.
We can make thousands.
At least 8,000.
Yeah, and we
All
split
right.
the 8 3 ways. What's that? $1,500? No, it's not. We would do well, but
Yeah, we can film it on our iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
Chappie and I'll do it. Chappie, are you coming in?
He said he was listening in the background. I know he's been hiding out in the basement at Chappie Towers because his house is full of people right now.
Oh, does he have a
That's
mother-in-law in town right now?
All the kids are at Chappie Towers, as I tell his business.
Oh, nice.
So he's been hanging out in the basement, which I don't
Yeah,
know.
That's exactly where I would be.
So Jen, do you have in your house a place that's just for you? Like I have a man cave downstairs, but it's only because V and Toby don't like to go down there. How about you?
Yes, I have a spare bedroom now, and it's the smallest bedroom in the house. And so I use that now for my studio / office, which means that there is a bunch of equipment in here. Some of it's still unboxed that I haven't used yet.
Like an actual microphone?
Right. Some that I use, and a bunch of my mail. But I have it set up. I have it set up all cute.
What if there's like a jury summons in there? Like is this mail that matters?
Well, here's what I do, Dave. I take all my mail and then I kind of like to open it up all at one time. So I don't have to check it every day or go through it every day. So I open it up, and then when I'm going through my mail, I throw out the junk mail as I'm standing there, and then I keep the stuff that might be important. But because I do stuff like that, and then I'm thinking, oh, I have bill pay. I don't have to open up this piece of mail. And then I find out that some check that they wrote me is going back to the state because I never cashed it. Yeah. Sometimes I find money more often than not because,
Were you just complaining about that? Saying that somebody tried to steal your identity and you checked and saw that there was outstanding money that was owed to you?
Yeah, because somebody called me and was telling me about this money. And so I was like, I remember getting a piece of mail. I remember getting a piece of mail about this. Let me call my bank. And sure enough, my bank said,
states maintain databases of like owed money that you should go check periodically. I think I got like $12 one time.
Oh, nice.
I got $6. But I don't want to go back because, like, if they, like, said I had money in Louisiana, I wouldn't go get it because, all right, so when I got out of the honor guard and went home for like a week for a break before A school, I was driving through Louisiana at like midnight. It was right outside of New Orleans, and I was doing like 115 and 60. And the only reason I was doing 116 is because there was a governor on my car and I couldn't go any faster. I probably could have got to like 145. So I got pulled over, which at that speed, I was supposed to go to jail.
Yeah.
He saw that I was military and he saw the presidential sticker on my ID and he dropped it down so I wouldn't, I could be let go with a ticket.
Okay.
So I thanked him, drove off responsibly, but I don't think I ever paid that ticket. So hopefully they'll just let bygones be bygones if I get pulled over in Louisiana, but yeah, I'm not going to Louisiana.
You got warrants in Louisiana, huh? Potentially.
I have had warrants in so many different states because this is why I would do that drive from California to Texas. And I think I've done drives, just military life. Sometimes I've done the drive from Texas up to the East Coast, depending on where we live. And so let's just say I get a ticket in one of those states. And this was back in the day. I drive too slow now to get tickets. But when I was younger, I would get speeding tickets. Now I'm half blind. But being half blind slows you down. So I would get, and so I'm like, I don't live in this state. I'm not paying this ticket. I mean, like, they're gonna have to come catch me. But then I was applying for a job with the state, and so they like basically told me if I wanted to keep applying for this job that I need to clean up all of those warrants that I had in all those other states. So sure enough, I had to go back, try to find all those tickets. Cause luckily I didn't Ice Cube it and just tear the ticket up and throw it out the window.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back, find all of those tickets, and then, correct myself, correct my standing. I believe it was New Mexico, Louisiana, and Arizona.
That's Houston logic for you right there.
No, maybe it was California.
Speaking of Houston logic, Erica says, just ignore the jury summons. Nothing happens. Now, I saw a TikTok recently that just said the same exact thing. And everybody in the comments were like, yeah, I've been ignoring them for 20 years. I feel like that's how social media gets you arrested.
Yep. And in Erica's case, possibly deported. So you better pay whatever you need to pay before you accidentally get picked up. And then we'll be saying lo siento to you.
Erica, I'm laughing at him, not with him. I always had an out because if you have a child under 12 and you are a stay-at-home parent or whatever, they will let you out. But now my daughter's 14. I haven't gotten a jury summons in 2 years, so I'm gonna see what happens.
God damn it.
I think I'm gonna stand my jury. I think I'm gonna do it. What about you, Dave? Do you ignore yours or do you?
Well, no, because I'm a hall monitor, right? So I'm a rule abider. But there was a time when I was living in Wichita where I got a Denver jury summons because I hadn't changed my license or whatever. And I called them and I said, I got a job in another state. And they were like, oh, you're good. And I was like, oh, I could just say that. Like, I didn't have to provide proof. I didn't have to show a light bill. I was like, oh, I could just lie. So that might be the new strategy.
I just remembered something when you said that.
Uh-oh.
The day I was leaving Minnesota to move to Denver, I got a summons. Not a summons, yeah, that's what they call, right? The jury thing, the jury duty thing. And I was like, screw it, because we were leaving.
Yeah.
I may have a warrant in Minnesota too.
I guess
may
it
be going in
depends on
two
how
states.
seriously they take that. I guess it depends on the state you live in.
I think to Erica's point, they don't really issue warrants anymore. It's more of a slap on the wrist kind of thing.
Oh, Kaleo said, really quick, snarky, I've gotten out of jury duty all these years because Mac Bro and I have the same name. So she did it for me.
Yeah, but nice. Mac Bro put the light bill in your name when you were 2 years old too. So,
and both of y'all are going to jail. So Kaleo said that you guys are live in Raleigh, North Carolina. 3 people are watching you here.
What's good, Raleigh?
So that means 4 people are watching us.
Yay.
Thank you, Raleigh.
How is North Carolina? Is it Kaleo? Is it cold? Are you guys going to be in the rain? Listening to your, what do we call J. Cole to Kaleo?
Who do we call J. Cole?
Yeah, you're going to be in the rain listening to your muse, or let me see, Ed G. Got a summons, but I told him I had to take care of our chickens at the beach and got out of it.
Nice. Their attitude is probably like, if you really don't want to be here, then, you don't have to be here.
Have you guys ever actually served on a jury?
Never.
I haven't, but I want to. But like a serious one, like the John Elway murder trial, something like that.
Elway. Yeah, Elway's got bodies for sure.
Yeah, because you can flip that into not having to work anymore. When you get your book deal.
The book deal? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I'm going to be that one holdout juror just so my book deal would be very lucrative. I don't believe Dahmer did it, but whatever that person would be.
We found a bone in his shoe. What are you talking about?
No, I don't believe it was his. He said
he is on tape.
We got a signed confession.
Yeah, nope. And he's narrating the video where he's stabbing this man to death and eating his spleen.
Seen AI? They can do so many things with AI. I don't think he did it.
He got
it's 1992,
right?
He literally made a YouTube saying how I did it.
Right. Remember OJ? If I did it.
Yeah, if I did it, Lord.
And Ron Goldman took that money from him.
As he should have.
Daydreamer says Chantel has powder milk titties now since she's 50.
Oh, Chantel is not even 50 yet.
I told you she wasn't 46. It's muggy and warm, so yeah, that concert should be what's what I'm looking for, fun.
What do you say?
Maybe
It's
down
56.
there with swamp ass.
Wait, what's the temperature?
He said it's muggy and warm.
Oh, muggy.
Warm.
Yeah. But it's probably warm to him because, he's from DC.
Kaleo, is your goal to take another picture with Rhapsody? That was my favorite picture last year.
Oh, I
That
know. I
beautiful
was so happy.
Kool-Aid grinning with Rhapsody. That was amazing.
Andrina what Amanda put now.
I know. I've served once and I've got out of it. Wait, I've served once. I've got out of the other one because I was going to Disney World. And then I was late for another one, so I got out of it. They were like, "Oh, okay, you can't even get here on time."
Yeah, so you don't want to serve your
That's how juries get
civic
full of
responsibility.
yeah,
because you're
that's
going
why
to
juries
Disney
are full of
World.
old people.
Well, I served on a jury once. We had to convict this old lady because she got hit by an RTD bus and it was her fault. And it was cool to see the process, but I'm glad it was a one-day thing and I don't ever want to do it again.
How did that end up going to trial?
So she had she got a ticket, and I guess because of the nature of the infraction, she had the option of doing a jury trial. It was a really it wasn't that deep, but apparently it was to her. And she was a sweet old lady, but we had to convict her because she was wrong. But it felt terrible convicting her. And they take you out for the sentencing, so you have no idea what you've just given this person. I'm sure it was just like, hey, you got to pay your ticket now because of that kind of infraction. But it really is kind of a bit of a mind F that, they tell you like, all right, she's guilty. Okay, you guys leave. We'll do the sentencing now.
Then you turn on the news later that night and see she got death. I thought it was for a ticket.
Yep. It was an interesting process, though. It was real interesting, but I wouldn't do it again.
I can imagine like all of the content we would have if we served on juries.
So this is what made our days not as productive as they could have been. Gentry was actually directing. Yeah. Gentry was directing like it needs the dog in it.
Did you show him the first one?
I did when Toby had a dog.
No. The first one, remember, it was just Dave J. And then I was like, okay, well, he needs a dog. Toby needs to be in it. And then you had the one where it was Toby on a Toby sled, like how Dave is on a Mike sled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Toby had a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the sled. Okay, my bad. I didn't realize.
No, it was a sled, and the dog Toby was being very irresponsible because he had this little dog on the ski.
Oh, my bad.
Look how old it made me in that one. Like, I know I'm not a spring chicken.
Yeah.
Lord.
He gave you that Santa Claus hair.
That's literally how I'm going to look, but give me 10 years on that.
Like Nolan Ryan.
That's right.
Yeah, he gave you that Santa Claus hair. Yeah, you see how his feet are mics? I thought that was what Toby was doing in the front. My bad. I didn't realize Toby had a dog.
Tia was a part of a death penalty murder case and was sequestered. I know she's talked about that before, but man, can you imagine being holed up in a hotel room because of a murder case? Like, that's got to be frustrating and kind of fascinating. I couldn't imagine, though.
Can you get like all the room service you want?
Yeah, I wonder how that works.
They would have to. I don't think so, because I think the tax dollars are you still only allocated so much.
So you got to get a per diem
for your food. Yeah. But I'm saying, I bet they don't give you alcohol. You can't watch television because they don't want you to see anything about the trial, and they take your phones. Oh, I would die from boredom.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, they maybe give you Netflix or something now, and
Netflix. Yeah,
I would have so many cheeseburgers. I wouldn't be able to. Decacia said she would love it. I wouldn't be able to be
vacation.
On the jury because I have to go to the bathroom. All those cheeseburgers I would have eaten the night before.
Decacia is gonna be like Jen. She's gonna be the one creating the hung jury.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here at the Holiday Inn Express having the time of our lives.
I was mad because I couldn't afford the charcuterie board.
That's a hung jury.
That 12-inch would work every time.
What you mean I can't do a dash?
Right.
Dave looks like the lady from Sister Wives' new husband. Not Cody, but the new husband.
I love Sister Wives, and I have not watched it the last season. I think the last season or two. I'm not sure, but I'm talking about for years. I've been watching that show since the beginning.
Oh, look at Kendall.
Yeah, it's the one that started everything.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Now, what was behind putting Petty on his t-shirt?
Remember the
That
petty
was on the
cat?
shirt. Yeah, it was on the T-shirt he had on. So
Oh,
Duke
okay.
just took it and ran with it.
Okay.
So Tia said that the murder trial was catered. Was it good catering? Like,
Ooh.
Yeah, I want to know. Was it good catering?
is it Lunchables or was it like a restaurant or like were they actually taking care? Like, did you look forward to it or did that add to the punishment?
Was it prison food catering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise I don't want that.
The police would kick in all the stalls when we used the public restroom in the hotel.
Oh,
Gee.
nice.
Hashtag
sound like
Philadelphia. The same police that hit Santa Claus in the head with a piece of ice. What was I? I was about to say something, but baby, I'm gonna let y'all know Baby Yoda is in here with me. And I was about to say something and ooh. They threatened to kill the judge and a jury member if we found the guy guilty.
Who is they in this story?
Probably,
She's afraid to say.
probably, yeah, the accomplices or the friends of the suspect, I imagine. So, you didn't find out until after everything, but the food was good. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, well, the
life
food
was
was
That's
good.
worth your life.
Yeah,
but the
that was
food
worth
was seasoned.
But I'm like nowadays, if you can have me just watching a little bit of Paramount, a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of Hulu, then I don't know what's going on in the news. But don't just let me be in that hotel room with nothing to do.
Yeah, it sounded like he was gonna like go home and get the gun.
Yeah, don't be locking me up in a room full of people with food I don't want to eat and can't leave. Yeah, Ed, I'm with you. Because once I'm full, there's nothing else to do.
Right. Well, there's a couple things you could do, but
But
can
you're in
only
there
do
by
that for a moment.
yourself, so
Not if you're by yourself. And then
I
it was
mean,
just like, man,
yeah.
I gotta really make friends with.
you're a hero. Dave would be like, 1 moment, please.
Hold on. Actually, that happened on the cruise ship. Dimitri knocked on our door, and I didn't have any pants on at one point.
You told me to come over there whenever.
I know, and he did, and I
was like, I
pantsless.
didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. You could have
He
given
was
me
like,
a heads up.
well, old hillbilly was hanging out, so
Tia said it was in Jersey, so or she was in Jersey, so that's why she doesn't want to say who.
it was the Suge Knights. She says,
What?
yeah, it was the Bloods. It was the Jersey sect of the Pyrus. It was the Trenton Pyrus.
Oh,
that's probably not a thing. I just made that up.
Yeah.
She said it.
No, she said it was the Bloods.
Okay, yeah.
In the comments.
Probably Mac Bro put that hit out. With like
Amanda, it was like when I didn't have the pineapple. We had lost the pineapple at that point when Dimitri came over.
Michi, did you take that pineapple?
No. They were on the opposite side of the ship. And I don't know where ours is, but we have like a bunch of them, so it wasn't a huge deal. Not to be go around giving people pineapples, but Doreen sells them. So
I put my pineapple. Doreen made me on my magnet board that I put up all of my magnets. That's what I do. I collect magnets when I go, so then I can look back on it when I'm old, when I've forgotten everything, and say, "Hey, I've been to this place."
Yep.
And my children can tell me all the wonderful places I've been because I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, our garage door is full of all the magnets from the places we've been, and the pineapple's right there next to
the garage door. Yeah. Yep. That pineapple is beautiful with that little beak. She did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Tia, why you say that out loud? Can't tell white people nothing because we have no fear, but we do now. But
well, y'all, we have some new art as well for 3 the Hard Way.
Oh, and I can't wait for y'all to see this.
I got so much crap today from Doreen and Tia and Gentry. Let me share really quick what we are basing.
Can I explain to them what you mean by so much crap today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so y'all, this is what we deal with behind the scenes. So Michi will ask, do y'all like this? And so, when you ask, do y'all like this? People are going to tell you if they like it or not, right, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Michi just wants to hear, oh, it's great, and then go on. Right. Instead of like, oh, you know what, maybe if you do this, maybe if you do that, maybe if you do this, because, that's what happens. So, yeah, we had our first, it was revised how many times, Michi?
5?
Yeah.
Or more?
No, not 5, 3 times, right? Because you made it, I think we revised it maybe 3 times.
So since I don't have these saved, I may have to just share my entire screen. Kindle won't go away.
Now,
Close Kindle window. Okay.
now, who has the final say when it comes to? Is it a democracy in the Three the Hard Way crew, or
No, they just nag until they get their way, and I'm sick of it.
And Tia was looking like Tyrone on her picture, so she needed a change. And then for some reason, Doreen was looking light skinned instead of like a white woman.
So you want to look like powder? I mean,
No,
white people do
I
have.
Okay, so y'all, she was looking like
a certain
Ariana
hue.
Grande on her first album.
oh, before she started using the bronzer?
Right. So no, while she full bronzer,
Oh, okay.
Ariana Grande. And now on this album, she's looking like the white woman that she is. And nothing wrong with that, but I'm like, Doreen doesn't try to do that. But the picture had her looking like her name was Keisha. You didn't think so?
I did not think so. I'm going to share the entire screen so
Okay.
you guys may get a glimpse into some stuff you probably shouldn't see. Let me see. Gentry, Death Row. There's Tia. So I think everything is
Trying to read his folder name.
sanitized. Let me see. Tumblr pics. Yeah, I think we're.
I'm so sorry, Tia. I hope I didn't put you in danger.
So, can y'all see over here our messages moving?
From the IRS.
Yeah.
Yep. So y'all can see that. I
Okay,
can't
so we
move
can
it
see
'cause-
that live from Death Row. Okay.
Yep. So in
And-
here, here's this. So this is the first one. Let me see if it'll pop up.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll pop up so they can really see it. Oh, it kind of popped up a little bit big.
What if I do open? There
Now
it is.
tell me if Tia doesn't look masculine on that picture.
Yeah, it looks like Cleo from Set It Off.
Okay,
So
now
you're
Dave, what's
co-signing
your
to-
opinion? Does Doreen look light skinned?
She looks Latina to me.
Yeah, see, she looks light skinned.
Yeah, light skin. I can see that. Yeah.
Whatever, man, y'all. Okay, so then we have our message. I'll go through that. I don't know if Tia wants to see that, but they keep like adding all this stuff. I like it, but Doreen looks light skinned. I look like I'm about to leave March, and I'm sorry to say, but Tia does look a little butch. I love it though.
And then he put Kanye in the chat.
So then
But we
Tia,
thought the concept was great.
Yeah, I gotta be
So-
honest. Tia looks very authoritative. Like she definitely
she's in the Suge Knight position.
Yeah, but like she's pulling it off too. Like it's masculine, but there's some feminine power there.
So I had to fix my beard, and I guess he changed Gentry a little. He moved the light. Doreen is smiling now, and Tia
Yeah, I like
is
that
just
one.
using the other wrist.
I like that one. That one's clean.
But yeah, this was the one, right? So yeah, this was
But
better.
Tia was still mad.
I
They
mean,
cleaned up your beard a little bit.
Dimitri, you look like the real Rick Ross though in that one.
Yeah. Oh, he sure does. Doreen is smiling like she smiles. She
Yeah.
has her
Tia
glasses on. She, looks
Tia
like
said,
she
"I
should
still
be
look
doing
like a
white
ninja."
girl news.
I don't know why that's more feminine though. I think Tia looks more in her
Right,
femininity
she looks
there.
more feminine on this last one. Yeah, and
Well,
that's all we were talking about.
Well, Tia didn't think so. She put, "I still look like a ninja," but it will do.
It'll do.
And I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. And Gentry wants Doreen to look like powder.
I do not. That's a good animation, a cartoon of Doreen. That's a good illustration of her.
I gotta
Well,
say,
then-
Dimitri, though, this looks like you're getting ready to star in a new polygamy documentary on Netflix.
Earth.
On Black Netflix.
That's right.
Earth, my 3 wives.
Well, wait till we get to the bottom of this message.
All right.
Oh, hold on a second. New lead. Da 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 da. Woo!
Erica's
I didn't
still
realize
mad
that
at
I
you.
moved. Let me move this over. Y'all could have seen something that when I called a client up, whatever. So Tia doesn't like this one. I change it. Let me see. Ooh, okay. I gotta cover that. Well, dang, I don't know. I do though. Gentry told me to put earrings on Doreen to make her more feminine. Because Doreen was like, she looks like a man too.
I don't think I said that. I think Doreen didn't like the way she looked.
Doreen said, I look manly. And
Yeah.
I put, okay, we just won't use it. Because I was fed up at this point. Everybody had something to say. And then Tia said, he's about to cuss us all out.
Yeah.
Tia said it. Maybe just tell Duke we all need earrings. And I put Doreen doesn't wear earrings. Oh, dang, I don't know. I love like though. And then Doreen chimes in, maybe a necklace? Doreen never participates in this chat until today.
You know what? That is so funny. You're right about that. Doreen doesn't participate that much.
Except today when she could boss me around. So then...
Doreen thought she looked like a dude in there.
Hello, Uncle Dandy. Good to see you, sir.
Dandy.
Hi, Dandy.
Thank you for coming to see me get abused by these women. So why didn't y'all like this one?
I was cool. Wait, let me see. I was cool with that one.
Yeah, Doreen said better. And I was like, I know Gentry is dying to say, I'm not dark enough. Because that's always your
no, but because look at how I look in real life. And then they'll have me looking like Doreen.
Dandy says it looks like a promo for a Tyler Perry show.
But no, these are chocolatey enough.
How would you tell that to Duke? How would you instruct Duke to make Gentry more melanated?
I think the last time I did it when she was crying and complaining, I was like, he wasn't Duke then. I was just like typed in, make her blacker. And it didn't get darker. So then that's when I brought up Harriet Tubman.
That's how Harriet Tubman got started.
So here's the
Harriet
last
Tubman got started. Remember the other day we couldn't remember? So, Uncle Dandy, this is redoing the Vibe. What was it called? The Vibe magazine?
Death Row cover.
The Death Row cover.
Yeah.
That was on Vibe magazine. So we basically did it for us.
I thought I heard somebody come in here. Oh, yeah, there he is.
See, that picture is great. Look, Tia looks like...
Hello, Governor.
Hello there. How are you? Good evening.
Chad, what do you think about our third,
remake
of the Vibe Death Row cover? Look at all our jewelry.
It's a lot of bling there. Is Dave going to be in there? I can't see him. Oh, no, he's not. He's not.
No.
He's not spotted through the hard work.
It's the third characters.
Well, it's the last part of the conversation. One more word, and I'm going to tell them just to take all your shirts off and have your titties out, since y'all want to look feminine. And Tia said, I don't think Rerun would want my cartoon titties displayed to the world. Response was, y'all should probably like this pic then. Entry said, that's a weird and ugly way to punish us. I like my degree of chocolate.
I mean, of all the ways you can be mad, that's how you figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to do this nice surprise for you guys, and then all you do is
Time.
Maybe that's why eggs cost so much now.
That's right.
But he asked, what do we think? So we told him the truth.
I didn't really ask what you thought. I just sent it. And then T was like, I look like a man. And then you're like, you do look butch.
She did.
And Doreen is light skinned. So let me turn this back on. Uh-oh. Ooh.
I didn't see the picture of Dave looking like Santa Claus. Can I see that one again? I heard it in the background, but
yeah, let me. Oh, it was the one with Toby on the sled.
Chappie, you in the basement?
Yeah, I'm always in the basement these days.
Oh.
Or the closet.
It's a doghouse and the basement.
Is that where your studio is, in the basement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That looks like Dave 10 years from now.
Gosh, I hope not.
15 years from now?
Yeah, let's go 15.
I really do like the skis, though.
I do too.
Dave, here's the thing. Once you start going gray, it goes quickly.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, look at me.
Like all the hair talks to each other and was just like, okay, I'll be great this week, you next week, you next week, you next week.
And when I was doing top 40 radio, like I was just fermenting all this shit. Like, cause I started going probably gray in my mid 30s and that never looks good. So I see old pictures and I'm like, oh, I was fooling nobody. I look like, you know how Eminem's beard doesn't look quite right.
Right. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah. So it's nice that I no longer have the pressure to present as young.
Yeah.
I thought about dyeing my beard before the cruise because I was like, only these people are going to know it's not real until I get on there and it's like Beijing and starts running all down my neck. And yeah, it wasn't worth it.
If your beard wasn't gray and we hadn't stepped on that elevator, man, with that one girl.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so sorry about that.
How many floors did you go up or down with that lady on your own? Did you go a couple of floors up or down, or
No, we both got
Dave and V?
on. We both got on, was it 6 or 7? I think it was 7.
Yeah.
So we probably hit 3 floors and it was like, ding, and like, hey, like, you sons of bitch. And I had like the milkshake, and that's what started the conversation. She's like, they have milkshakes on here? And I was like, yeah, I got a milkshake. And they're taking my wife, and you want to meet my wife? And then, ding, hey. So that was that. And I never saw her again.
Didn't you do the bro code?
Guys group chat that I don't know about.
But Chappie, I explained like I couldn't look like a reluctant racist because there was nobody else on the elevator. So it was either cock block my bro or look like the white guy who's not going to get on the elevator with 2 rhythmic people.
That could have given them something to talk about.
Yeah, I know. See,
that was a bro code, though. That was a bro code. You know, you should have realized and sensed he needed a little bit of time there, you know, and taken the racist hit.
I think he would have. He's trying to protect V-Rod right now because she was with him. So if he would have dipped out.
Yeah.
See, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what you call bro code. Because I would have been standing up there and I would have got on the elevator and was like, where's Doreen?
You've done something like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Doreen?
Yeah. See, I wouldn't have gone there. I would have pretended like Dimitri was there on his widower cruise trying to finally get over things.
See, that's exactly because that's bro code. Girl code doesn't work like that.
Rollinism in the house.
Thank you, Rollinism, for popping in.
How you doing, Roland?
James Bond was like ism. Rollinism. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, that's why we're gonna do Dave's bachelor party in Colombia, and y'all can't come.
Colombia where?
Medellin.
No, Medellin.
Medellin.
Wait, is that Mexico?
No, it's Colombia. We're going to Colombia. Y'all going to Mexico? No, it's Colombia.
Oh, the country Colombia. I'm up here like, what city is named Colombia?
Columbia, Missouri.
South Carolina.
I'm like, why aren't they saying a state? Why are they saying Medellin? I was like, are they going to Mexico? Is there a Colombia in Mexico? Okay.
Chappie, have you ever been to Medellin?
No, I haven't. You know, there's a couple of the Colombian footballers were shot there, weren't they? In '98 when they came back, they left in disgrace, and and they were killed. So I don't have any. What's in Colombia that you're looking for?
You gotta get some bronzer, like Ariana Grande.
We're going to spread the good word. I mean, there's some young people there, particularly females, that need to understand like the word of our Lord and Savior. And I think there's an opportunity for us to kind of spread that word if we can.
Yeah.
So Chappie, imagine the Mormons, but the exact opposite.
Yeah, I still want to go to. I still want to head across the border with Real Estate Poppy and get our teeth done. Oh no, we're going to Turkey, aren't we? One of the two.
One of the two. Because the pictures I sent you today, you saw how beautiful my smile was, and then I didn't wear my retainer. And here I go.
No, you still got a pretty good smile.
No, it's not. It's not Hollywood ready.
Chappie, what's the plan for your bachelor party?
I don't know yet. I only just started thinking about it a few weeks ago. So probably something in Denver, I would imagine. In maybe May or June.
Monchalet.
I didn't even realize Michelle is snuck in here. Hello,
I think
Ashley
I'm gonna
and
go
Queen.
down for Chappie's bachelor party because I feel like it's gonna be classy.
So for my bachelor party, what we did, all the guys, they did whatever I wanted to do. So we went and got mani pedis. Then we went to indoor skydiving down in Lone Tree, right across the street from my nail lady.
Yeah.
And then we met up with Doreen's bachelorette party downtown. And that was it. It was a nice, quiet, uneventful, no trouble event.
Are you just saying that because we're on air? Because that sounds very like,
That's wholesome.
It's Denver. I mean, what else was I going to do?
Chappie, I hope your bachelor party is going to be way more exciting.
I got into trouble for my first bachelor party
Do
because
tell. Go on.
So we went to the Redhead Piano Bar in Chicago because I was living there at the time, and it was girls and guys who I knew from college. So they all flew over from the UK, and we we went out there and had a great time. But one of the girls, Emily, she had nowhere to stay. Said, "Oh, you can come and stay. I'll sleep on the couch. You can take the bed." And then my ex-wife found out she was staying there. I didn't tell her, and got into all sorts of trouble. Like 2 or 3 nights before the wedding, I had another woman sleeping in the bed, but I was sleeping on the couch. There's nothing going on there, and that caused a lot of furore, to say the least. So not a good idea a few days before your wedding to do that. But the night before my wedding, I slept in the same bed with my best man. Because we were saving money. No shenanigans going on. But yeah, that was
Your best man wasn't Aaron radio show, was it?
No. It was my good friend Jim, who looks a little bit like Aaron actually, but a little bit younger.
Is that the guy that your dad wanted you to marry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, that's what I thought that was your type. You know what I mean? The guy your dad wanted.
We're both. Yeah, my dad didn't want me to marry my my ex-wife. He preferred if I'd been gay, I think. So, and both Jim and I are perfectly straight, but he thought, well, Jim's got a good career. I think he'll do well. Where my ex-wife didn't.
So Chappie, when you're sharing a bed with another bloke, and obviously you're straight and you're secure in your sexuality, so there's no subtext that you wouldn't be. But out of, I guess, logistical reasons, do you put like a pillow barrier between each other just in case there's not any accidental gayness?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of pillows. Now, he's a very slight guy. Right. I'm broad shot. I'm like a barrel-chested fella. So
we're second level rugby, yeah.
Yeah, so, it was a king-size bed, so there was never any chance of any sort of weirdness going on, or like planes, trains, and automobiles where they wake up. You see the Bears game last night? None of that going on. So, luckily. That's not a hand between. That's not a pillow there. Yeah, that's none of that going on. But these sort of things happen just before a wedding. You have to and then Jim's fiance at the time really didn't get on very well with one of my wife's friends, so that was a lot of hassle as well. So there's all sorts of things to plan. This is why this year, Naughty Yacht and I are just going to Greece on our own. So there's none of that nonsense. No, it's just us. Maybe a Greek Elvis. That's about it.
That's what I'm saying. You spend all of that money for all of that trouble when you can easily just go somewhere, have it taken care of, and then come back. And then, it's just about you and her. I love that.
Now, Jen, did you do a bachelorette party when you got married?
Did I do a bachelorette party? I cannot remember. I don't think I did. Oh, maybe I did. But if I did, it was something simple like we got our hair done and went to the club. Okay. But I remember walking in on my ex's bachelor party and being pretty upset.
Ooh, titties.
Actually, that's not true. I didn't walk in on it. What happened was he said there was not going to be any females there at the party.
Ooh, titties.
He meant guest.
Ooh, them titties need to be
sucked on. He said it was not going to be any guests. So I look and I'm like, Where are those girls going? Like, I'm just in the parking lot waiting to see if any guests were going to show up. And sure enough, there were some guests that showed up.
So Adrian says, I have a king size bed and my husband constantly insists I'm on his side. I don't think king size beds are really that big. Well, you're married to an 8-foot tall wrestler. Like,
yeah. His
You need a
arm span
California
is probably a king size bed size.
That's right.
I mean, you've got an 8-foot wrestler there, and then there's Paul Bearer in there as well, and also Adrienne. So you know,
Yeah,
there's
she's tall too.
too many people in bed.
But no,
he's like, get away from me. It's too warm over here. And then you have to roll over. You better go sleep on the couch.
Dave, did you do all that? Bachelor party, bachelorette party?
No, I didn't get a bachelor party. I didn't know. Nobody gave a shit that I got married.
What about you, Poppy, the first time? I know we were kind of young and broke, so did you get that stuff?
No, we went to the courthouse, and the couple that was our witness, they were holding a little dog, and they were like, well, we don't have a witness, so we were their witness, and that was that.
Oh, okay.
We got married in University of Hawaii football shirts.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
No, I had the whole shindig, but I gotta be honest, I don't remember having a whole bachelorette party. I know it seems like I would have.
Roland said we need to give you one. We can have it at the Snooty.
Bachelorette party. Have it at the where?
At the Snooty, and then have Earl's cater it. We'll have hot dogs, and he does salmon sandwiches.
Earl's. I don't know Earl's. I was about to say we can have Norm's catering. We can have pancakes. I never got the chance to eat at Norm's when I lived out there. So, but
that's somewhere fancy. We're going to the Snooty. Norm's isn't going to cater at the Snooty.
Oh, okay. So Earl's is like a truck or something?
No, it's a hot dog shop on Crenshaw and like I live there. Crenshaw and something.
Oh, that's nice.
Adrian said his arm span is go gadget long. I'm not gonna. That's too easy.
Roland's not co-signing.
Wow.
Roland said he'll give you a bachelor party, Dave.
Roland will kill me. I will not make it to the wedding.
Yeah, he was out till 5 o'clock in the morning, wasn't he? One of the nights in the
no, all of the nights. Roland didn't sleep in his bed, I don't think.
He slept in somebody's bed, though.
Well, that's true.
He was sleeping in somebody's bed. He was taking a lot of women out to those cruise restaurants. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of times we were together in the evening time for the cruise restaurant. So I'm sure he was taking a lot of the nice ladies to lunch. You ever been to the galley?
James?
Whatever you want on me. James from Pedro says Earl's is legit.
Okay.
Crenshaw and 39th. That just sounds scary.
See, that's I wish I had one of those buttons. But
is there a good area, Crenshaw? Like, is there a part of Crenshaw that's like Beverly Hills Crenshaw? Like, or you know how like streets in other towns go throughout the length of the city? Like, is there a gentrified, cool Crenshaw?
I haven't been in a part of Crenshaw that made me nervous.
Me either. Right. Because that Los Angeles, like poverty is not like poverty in other places.
Because there's palm trees around, right? Like it's hard to feel like
I don't know what it is, but I remember maybe at night. I don't know what it's like out there at night, but my family would always, when they would come visit me in Orange County, they would want to go down to LA to go to like where they film the movies, like Menace to Society or
I saw
just all of those movies. And then it was nothing like, I was telling them, it's nothing like what you think. And this is not the 90s. This is not the 80s or 90s. So,
well, the last time we were there, I saw something scarier on Rodeo Drive than I saw anywhere in Crenshaw. There was this man outside of, I think it was the Louis Vuitton store. And I didn't know it was a man at first. This person was dressed up like the Statue of Liberty. And then the Statue of Liberty had her titties out. So I was like, babe, you see that? So
were they painted green?
Made, they were. So I was like, we got to make a block. So we spun the block. And that's when I noticed there was a man, he had on like the movie titties, but he was talking about being sexually assaulted in the Louis Vuitton store for 5 years by the manager or something like that. Maybe I'll play that out 3 the hard way on Tuesday, because I was cleaning out my phone and noticed I had that video.
Oh, man.
And I think Doreen was like, look at his titties. So
Why is Dorian like this?
let me see. Gigi said, you should see Inglewood glow up.
Is that because of the stadium they put in there? Probably. No.
Let me see. Yeah. Titties all the way out. And then that's what we should do. When we go have whoever's bachelor or bachelorette party at the Snooty, we should rent a bus, one that you don't need a commercial license to drive. And Snarky can take us around and show us. She can do her hood ninja tour.
Yeah. Get one of those Mercedes, those big Mercedes Sprinters. Yeah.
You have to drive that. U-Haul's $20.
Dave, you want to be bouncing around the back of the U-Haul?
I just think it's funny that like you can drive a 40-foot truck from U-Haul and you barely need a license. Like that doesn't seem safe.
Snark is going to be a coyote with all of us in the back of a U-Haul.
With one British guy in there.
Did you say she was dressed as Robert E. Lee earlier or something? I can't. Did I mishear that? I don't know what the hell.
That's the cartoon I'm going to make for her. I was going to have Duke, the Duke of Earl. I was going to have Duke make that logo. So maybe later tonight when Baby Yoda and I meet again, maybe we're not going to have it by tomorrow, but by Monday we will have I'll say Snarky Mac character in the middle of a logo. Maybe I'll put ninjas around in little cars, driving people and showing them the city.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, Dave, I love what you did today.
What did I do?
With the Jen's Glens.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Jen's Glen, that was great.
Well, it was inspired initially by Chappie. I am enamored with the way Chappie's brain works and his writing.
Yeah.
Every time Chappie does a bit on his show, and then like, you know, these more fleshed out bits, I have to listen 3 or 4 times because there's always something that I miss. So I even send him a message like, hey, you inspired me so I could, you know, I want to do one too, but like, do you mind? Because I don't want to like step on your toes because what he does is brilliant.
You just asked me just asked me for a British humor translation. That's what you're really asking me for. Like,
I am fascinated by the way your brain works, and I don't mean that in any kind of condescending way whatsoever. You just come up with things that I never would, and I'm like, wow, that is genius.
You know what? That is so true because every time I hear Chappie's, I hear something different, and every time like I hear yours and See Soul Boys, like you hear something different every time you go through the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
I mean, that guy's a talent, though. When you've got a musician, you hear him or Jameson Pedro earlier on the piano when he broke into the Werewolves of London riff. That was amazing.
I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes to James from Pedro's talent. Like he's only given us a glimpse. I guess, you know, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. But
like when a drug dealer gives you a little bit and then gets you hooked, and then you have to
like
buy
he gave us a little taste of his powers, but I think James from Pedro is probably a world beater.
Well, his setup is, I don't know if he put a picture up on Instagram, is amazing. It looks like the Starship Enterprise to me. He's got keyboards, he's got mixing desks, he's got like 3 or 4 monitors up there. It's pretty amazing. And he's it does. I mean, it really is quite the setup. I had to get him on here. I know he wants to talk geeky radio at some point with all of us. So I don't know if anybody will tune into that, though, but that'd be amazing.
You want to send him the link now?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Well, I could send him the link on Instagram. I don't know. He's got his toddler though, so I don't know if he
probably gave her cough medicine already.
If he's up and about.
James, are you in the chat? Get a baby some cough medicine.
I said to Real Estate Poppy earlier, I want to introduce him to my daughters, but now I hear this sort of stuff going on. You know, be giving them a dip of scotch.
Medicine?
Dip of scotch.
Like 16? Yeah, it will be alcohol.
Hey, I've got a mushroom risotto for you. Try this.
Actually, that doesn't. Let me see. I have time. But yeah, here's the Jen Glenn thing that we mocked up.
I like it.
And this is where she was talking about titties are like there's bad sizes of titties to have.
Well, no, I didn't say there were bad sizes. I was basically saying that look at those boobies. That's like a perfect size.
Very
Like,
proportionate, yes.
yeah, very proportionate.
I mean, I said to Dimitri earlier that there should be like some sort of feral zombie unk behind, like crawling around. If that was a true picture, your play zombie unk.
My play uncle.
Yeah, exactly. The
He
zombified.
should have been in that building doing like this.
Jen, have you seen Play Unk like recently? Is he still with us?
Yeah, because it's my sister's real uncle.
So does he got like that Ron Isley swag now?
Yeah, but I mean, he's older now, and I'm sure my sister told him the story, so it was just it was so funny. Like when I saw him again, I hadn't seen him in like 10, 15 years. So at her birthday party, I saw him again, and it was funny. Like
so he was like when Damon got out of jail. Like, oh, you grown now, and then
he probably tried it on. He's 80 years old, walking around with a walker and no shirt, seeing if it still works.
Yeah,
this can't at the only.
Yeah, he had his arm around me and everything, so I knew she had told him what I had told the family about when I was 8.
Finish the story. Finish the story.
I'm scared to finish the story.
Like he had his arm around me and everything.
Yeah, I the way he put his arm around me, I had a feeling that he probably knew the backstory from when we were kids.
He's like, doors open now.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, my wife over there. Don't worry about that.
And is that the end of the story?
No, that's the end. It was fun. It was cool. You know, how just a little girl crush. And it wasn't even.
Did you have any?
Crush. It was more like little girl lust, I guess. You know what I mean? It was just a weird, like, oh, that's what boys are.
Chappie, tell me a story of you being a young lad and maybe crushing on an older woman, maybe an actress, maybe a neighbor. Do you have somebody that comes to mind?
Well, when I was a young lad in Chicago, I often I really liked older women at that time. So I was like 23 years old. I dated a 38-year-old Jewish woman for a while. Wow. That was the moisturizer girl, Rebecca. So one where I put the face moisturizer on the old boy, and it had a little bit of elephantitis. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. I'm still working my way on that.
How serious that? I mean, obviously you guys were having like familial relations, but was it an actual relationship or was it only physical?
It was a relationship. It's about 6 months. It was about 6 months, and then after that, I met my ex-wife. But for a while, I used to hang out in like early 2000s. I used to hang out at Hugo's Frog Bar on Rush Street, and that's where I'd sit there for like probably an hour or two, and a lot of divorcees would come in with a lot of money, so you could often have a free evening just sitting there, flirting, having a couple of martinis and some calamari or whatever. And you could have a couple of wonderful evenings. There's one girl who was meant to be meeting a guy, and I got her number, and I was meant to be meeting a date, and she came in late, and then the date went badly for both of us, and we ended up calling each other and met up at Jilly's Retro Lounge that was across the way.
Be careful, fiance is now watching, so just heads up.
And we're smoking cigars. Oh, she knows all these. She knows all these stories back in the day.
All right.
And we're smoking cigars all evening. I mean, that's such a fun city. Along that part of Rush Street is amazing. And there was one time I was down in Jilly's Retro Lounge, and I had a friend over from England who I went to university with called Claire, beautiful blonde lady. And we were like dancing at Jilly's Retro Lounge, and there's a couple of old Italian guys sitting at a table, and they started buying us drinks all night. I thought, well, this is a little bit weird. And they called us over, and this one guy who's called Tony, he's like giving out business cards. Tony, I can't think, it's an Italian name. It's a construction on there. And I thought, well, this is rather nice. Thanks very much. And at the end of the evening, they said, well, do you want us to give you a ride home? I said, yeah, no, it's fine. We're just at 1 West Superior, a couple of blocks away. He said, no, it's fine. And I sort of insisted. I was a little bit worried at this point. He said, well, why don't I take you out for breakfast the next day? I said, no, it's all right, Tony. Appreciate it. Claire and I have got plans. So we went back, And honest to God, the next morning the phone rang and it was him, and I never gave him my number. And he said, "Go talk to Claire," and she was like saying, "No, I don't want to speak to this guy." But that was pretty scary. Like probably 3 or 4 Chicago gangsters just sitting at the table there at the retro lounge. But yeah, that was there were some fun times around in good old Chi-Town.
And then there you are with your socks with the bells on them, just oblivious to the fact that you're about to get murdered.
It's like Mickey Blue Eyes, that movie with Hugh Grant, isn't it? Where he's trying to be an Italian gangster or whatever. And yeah, I had no clue. There's certainly some naivety at that point in time, not knowing what the hell was going on.
Michi, any trysts with older ladies?
Yeah.
That you can share or want to share?
Yeah, I'm just... We'll go to the beginning. So I don't know why I was in this grocery store, but I was in it. It wasn't my normal grocery store. And this was before I met Doreen. I was still married, but that was the petty part of being married. So I'm in this grocery store and I'm looking for something. And this old lady just starts talking to me. She's like, I guess it would be a Bertha, but she was like skinnier and like a Claire Huxtable. Like a skinny version of Claire Huxtable.
Oh, nice.
And then the next thing you know, I was at our house like 30 minutes later. So maybe
how'd the conversation go? Like,
she had some real game, huh?
Was it like, yeah.
I didn't. I think she did.
No, that's
because I was like,
she had some game. She was like, I got some cookies at the house.
Marcus.
Actually, I was looking at Little Debbie at like at oatmeal pies, I think. And then we started talking, and
I like that cream
she was in Navy too.
You got some Little Debbie's at your house?
Next thing you know, I was doing the walk of shame, smiling. But
so yeah, it was just like a one night, or I guess a one afternoon thing. If you met her at the grocery store,
it was at night. It was like, I don't know why I was at this grocery store, but it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
She was there looking for somebody like you.
Yeah, probably. I'm probably recorded. She probably had a camera up or something and send it to her ex-husband. Like, this is my revenge.
How was it? Because typically older ladies know what they like and they don't have a whole lot of barriers. Like, I imagine it might have been one of the best. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It was like, I should have said, thank you for this opportunity, because she was amazing. She taught me stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know old legs could have been like that. I'm
going to search Pornhub later. I bet you the video view up there. You know, it's a bit grainy. It's probably VHS or Betamax quality, but
yeah, I didn't have this tattoo yet, so I can deny it. And I saw something on Instagram. It said, if you're going to cheat, wear old clothes, because that way you can say, oh, that's an old picture. Like this guy who cheats today, he wears clothes from like 2002.
Oh, that's what you can tell him. Like, somebody see you out, like, I saw your man, here's the picture.
Man, I had on full
velour suit. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But that never works. I always had the long socks and the golf outfit on, you know, the KPs, and I was found out pretty easily.
Is that Payne Stewart?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's Chappie. See, Roland understands. The older ladies attracted. Doreen said I could have a sugar mama as long as she could have an allowance.
That seems fair.
So but yeah, you have to find one who can take care of you and your wife. And there's not a lot that I've been able to find in Vegas.
So when Roland's talking about an older lady, I mean, he's like 80. They must be like 95 or something. Are we talking about? Or what are we talking?
At least 106. Hold my bag, son. Yes, ma'am.
They put the wrong dentures in. One takes the dentures out at night and they swap them over in the morning.
She puts them in upside down to like role play. I'm a different woman today, row.
Row.
Got the bottom biters on the top.
Watch me eat this apple upside down. And Roland's like, yes, ma'am. Did we ask Gentry this question? Well, it started with her.
Yeah, Jen, you ever have a moment with an older gentleman?
Not that I know of. I don't
I did
really
not know.
I don't really prefer them older, and I don't prefer them younger. So I need them right around my age.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I don't
wouldn't, you wouldn't be a sugar mama though. You wouldn't go for it if it was a younger, cute construction
no,
guy.
it's so funny, Chappie. Most of the time when I'm stopped, it's always somebody in their late 30s. I don't want to say always, but it's a good bit of the time they're in their late 30s. And I'm like, no. Like as soon as I find out, as soon as they say 38, I'm like, nope. Like it's just too young.
I beg to differ, sir. So even when Doreen and I joke around about throuples and stuff, it will never be anyone younger, because the thing is, you don't want to have a relationship with someone that you have to take
You
care
mean
of,
younger,
or who's
like
expecting to be.
10 years or 15 years younger.
Yeah. So we were at Twin
Mhm.
Peaks, and again, the restaurant industry has been decimated
Oh,
by
it's awful now.
OnlyFans.
We went to Hooters. It was terrible. I mean, the food was good.
I'm
That's
like,
like
excuse me, sir, can I get a
Yeah,
menu?
the servers are awful now.
Yeah, excuse me, sir, can I get a menu? You and not a sir. We're just gonna go to Chick-fil-A. So
Hooters is so
but there was
bad
this,
now. There's Lady Liberty that you saw. There's a Snooty Fox is now performing. That's the quality you've got there.
and I'm
Uh-oh.
like, excuse me, sir, you don't have to work at Louis Vuitton anymore. You can go to Twin Peaks. They're looking for someone
Look at
just like you.
Y'all, Gigi said I was with a 50-year-old at 29. He was hot, good in bed, and took me traveling.
That's a
Yeah, you know
win-win-win.
what?
Ah,
That's the way it's supposed
Gigi,
to be.
my parents
Perfect.
had me young, like 23 and 19. So I don't want anybody that has anything in common with my father. And I don't want anybody that has anything in common with my daughter. So that keeps him in between, that you got to be in a pocket.
Michelle says she dated a 24-year-old when she was 42. Was it only physical? Were you able to actually have a conversation with him? Like, did you have points of references that matched up, or was it just, this is a young buck that's going to rock my world?
I think that,
Well, because physically, this is prime meets prime,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
24 and
Yeah.
42.
I remember when when early days in Chicago, I met this this one lady, and I don't know where she is now, but she had the most fabulous name. Her name was El Ariel, and I don't know where she is now, but anyway, we dated for a while, and I had to go back to the UK because I was coming in and back and forth US to UK too many times, and I got myself a visa. But when I got back to the US in 2001, I was staying at a house in Old Town, which is up fairly close, like walking distance to Caprini Green. I think I mentioned this before.
Yeah.
But she was crazy. Like she sort of blew hot and cold. Like some days she adored me, other days she didn't. And I remember I was trying to get out of the relationship, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had to go back to the UK." And I remember one day, I think it might have been in 2002, I was at F.A.W.N's pub watching Tottenham play. I think they were playing Chelsea, similar today. And I looked over, and she was like the other side of the bar looking at me, like with the face of death, causing a scene.
I'm back.
And I found out later that she had a thing for British and Irish guys. She used to hang out. She'd have a few dates. She would take them home, but never do anything because she's a devout Catholic. And this is what she always said. And this is her stick. So, I mean, it was absolutely crazy. But yeah, I got out of there. I went to another F.A.W.N's after that because she was nuts.
Michelle's 24-year-old was terrible. He was not in his prime. 24, you should still be slanging pretty good, but maybe not.
Dandy always has the best stories. I dated a 40-year-old woman when I was 19.
Was this before or after you left the massage parlor butt ass naked?
That
was a great story.
Those are my favorite story other than Chappie's wiener story.
Okay, Gigi, my parents were 10 years older, but I was in it for fun and he knew it. My sweet spot was a guy about 5 years older, which my husband is now. Yeah, that's about right.
Chappie, you mentioned she had a thing for Irish and British guys.
Yeah.
How much have you encountered like being fetishized in America because of your accent? And was it ever a problem?
Not really. You get the occasional like weird, no, I wouldn't say stalker, but people who just a little bit too clingy because of that. Now, if you hung around those sort of bars, you would meet, you know, women who had that sort of weird fetish, or I don't know, thinking they were like dating Hugh Grant or I can't think of the Irish guy, the tall Irish guy with any of those British Irish fellas. So that did happen a little bit, but I don't know. Over the years, I've become more transatlantic. I'm probably like speaking like Cary Grant these days more than anything else. Mid-Atlantic, not transatlantic. So,
well, I have a question. Does it work in reverse? Like if Dave and I went to London, would our American accents make us like the international man of mystery that you are?
I don't think it would make Tottenham fans like you, Dimitri, but maybe if you were at West Ham or one of the other, you know, Millwall or Crystal Palace potentially. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's maybe something that that we need to try out and to see what happens. I'll steward you and keep you safe.
Dimitri,
maybe we need to give it a go.
I've heard Australia is the place for us to go. I hear Australian women American accents for some reason.
But aren't there a bunch
and apparently
of men to women? The ratio is higher there. Is it still like that?
In Australia?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That the ratio
is a penal colony, but I'm just...
Well, from what I've heard from Navy people, that they love Americans, but they really love black guys there.
Oh, in Australia?
Yeah, my roommate that lives in Houston now, well, he was my whatever in honor guard. Our head person then became my roommate. He said one time they docked in Australia, and this old man came up and walked up on the ship and surrendered himself and turned his ID in. It was like from the late 60s, I think. He went UA and just lived in Australia. So then in the late 90s, I guess he was done and turned himself in, and I wish I knew what was going on with him now. It's probably not still in jail because that was before 2000, but still, how much fun must you be having to leave your military obligations and abandon your country?
What year did he
for 30 years
go AWOL?
The late 60s.
The late 60s. Oh, okay.
So that's like during Vietnam,
that's
right?
During the war, right?
Jermaine.
That's another reason, I guess, to not try to whatever. But I want to experience, I mean, just Australia. Not that I need anything nefarious to happen over there, but I just want to go somewhere where people appreciate us or seemingly appreciate us.
I think the Aussie girls would like you, though, because of the confidence. They like the confidence of the American man, I think. That's probably what it is, more than anything else. Sorry, Dave, what you're saying?
Well, I wanted to ask Dandy if he's still here with us, because he had kind of like the inverse of what Michelle experienced. He said he dated a 40-year-old woman when he was 19. Was it purely physical? Was it an actual relationship? Was she a sugar mama? Did you guys actually have conversations, or were you just giving her the dandy?
I also want to ask him a question as well. When he went to that massage parlor, how long did it take him to take that 3-piece suit and bow tie off?
No, I always notice.
It wasn't a clip-on. He's a legit gentleman.
While Dandy is answering that question, what I've always noticed is that younger men, that's what they're in it for. Because I remember my what was he? Amazon driver was following me around when I was exercising, trying to get me to talk to him. And he had to been like 27. I was like, no, you're a little too young for me. And then it was like, oh, I can't even get Amazon packages delivered. I'll go out and get my Amazon packages while the man was out there. But Dandy says all of the above. Yeah, I was like, because a man at a certain age, especially the young men, they want to have kids and do all of that other stuff. So unless you're just playing around too, generally they don't go anywhere. Generally.
You know what? WRSE has already interviewed Dandy, and they're like more of a professional show. We should interview Dandy on Three the Hard Way because we're ratchet.
Yeah, we could be the station head of YouTube.
But which Dandy would appear there? Would it be station head Dandy, or would it be that very elegant gentleman Blaster?
You got to give us station head Dandy, because he was wearing a tie on the podcast, on the WRSC podcast. So we just need a tracksuit.
She was
in a gold chain.
Girlfriend, sugar mama, and sex ed. Good job, Dan.
Oh.
Wish I was on my applause button. There it is. We can do a double applause next time one is needed.
I got mine right there.
So yeah, we need station head Dandy. Maybe if we do switch to where only subscribers can see the live stream, that would be our first live stream with the interview that's behind not a paywall, because we're not going to make people pay, but behind a subscription wall.
Oh,
yeah. That's it.
Dandy after dark.
That's the only way you're going to get Kendall on there as well. And you want to cut her that paywall.
I mean, Kendall told us again. He even rubbed it in this time. He came in the chat, hey, and then so yeah, that's fine.
Kendall was like, we got to work our way up.
Yeah, you don't start off with the high yellows. That's what Fred Sanford said when that lady tried to marry Lamont. Yes, you have to be a stagnant.
I had a delivery guy knock on my door 3 times one day to work up to asking me for my number. I said, I don't live in this house anymore.
That's scary.
Yeah. And he knows like your routine. So
yeah, he hasn't seen The Undertaker though. She needs to show him a picture. This is my husband.
That's only scary if you don't like him. But if you like him, or if there's a chance you could like him, then it's like, ooh. Because think about all those rom-coms. It's only a horror film if you don't like the guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's like sexual harassment.
Otherwise, it's
if an ugly guy at work is messing with you, then you go to HR. But if it's Idris Elba, he's like,
Idris,
you play too much.
No, you can't have my panties.
It was more challenging in the day to get dates, though, like before apps and everything and the internet, wasn't it? You had to like be a little bit more creative about how you would go about things. I remember there was this barista who I liked, and I used to go into Starbucks every day. And I think I left my number there maybe 3 times, and like I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks later she finally called me. But it's a lot harder. You need to have the balls to do it.
Now, did you write your number on like a receipt, or were you more direct?
Yeah, it was on a receipt. Yeah, on a receipt.
Give a heads up, like,
you did it 3 times?
Yeah, but no, not 40 times, 4 times. But we were like flirting like every day. So I thought there was like a connection here. But I've flirted with strippers at strip clubs before and spent a lot of money, so you never know.
Let me tell y'all men a secret. Sometimes women will flirt with you just
for the sport of it.
Not necessarily. I know I know you're thinking it's the sport of it, and sometimes it might be that, but sometimes women will flirt with you just to like kind of water down the situation. Yeah, it was almost like instead of like trying to be cold, like we'll just flirt to kind of move around just to make you feel a little more comfortable. But yeah, I'm not going to give you my phone number.
Well, I think that's women like in a previous time, because women today are like men. They're like so aggressive and they're scary now. I'm glad
you're saying that right, but I mean, just like that's going for it. But I'm talking about if she's just flirting with you and she's not going all the way there, she could just be,
Yeah,
she could just be being nice.
I don't know. I just think there's no such thing as nice women under a certain age today. I mean, look at Instagram. You see that mess. And then the women who aren't IG famous are trying to be like the ones who are IG famous. So they can be IG
You're right.
famous.
I can't speak for the young women. I can only speak for my generation, because we had to deal with guys listening to songs that called us names all the time and who were taught to be like very, very aggressive. And so, when I was younger,
and you were shaking your ass to it.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was younger, you had to like a group of guys like see you on the street and want to ask for your phone number and all that stuff. You would placate them to get out of that situation. until you can get out and move around that situation.
Just to be
or
safe.
give them a fake number. Because, before cell phones, when they can check the number right then, you can give them a fake number.
Let me ask you a question, Jem. When you and Jason Statham got together, who made the first move? Or was it sort of over time you realized that you liked each other? If you don't mind asking that question.
Definitely, he had to make the first move because I got to be honest with you. Then and now, I can't tell. Like, I know when Black dudes are flirting.
Yeah.
They flirt with a lot of bravado. White dudes tend to be a little more subtle about the flirting, like just having conversations.
Somebody told a lie one day.
Nobody in this chat, nobody right here is a woman. So I'm just telling you from a woman's point of view how I've seen that. They're more, I can leave a conversation not knowing what they were thinking. Whereas Black dudes tend to, okay, can I get your phone number? Like calling you little pet names and like you kind of know, oh, this is what this is about. Whereas I don't.
Hey, green shirt.
Hey, big head.
Let me have your green shirt.
Exactly.
Michelle.
And that's why white guys make the best serial killers because you don't know what they're
Right.
thinking. They're just walking through the grocery store.
Plus,
like,
the police just let us go.
People
So.
I'm like, sir, that man is chasing me. That man won't leave me alone. And then next thing I know, I look over and they got Poppy hemmed up on the ground. And I was like, not him.
I just have oatmeal pies. I'm trying to catch a McLeod Huxtable.
I just came back to get some oatmeal pies.
Michelle says lots of men confuse kindness for flirting. That's because we experience kindness so infrequently that we can't differentiate.
I know, and that's how.
I don't know the difference between Spanish and Italian. It's yeah, it's all a romance language. So
yeah, so you can. That's why I was almost like women. You do this tightrope where you don't want to be too open if you're not interested, but you also don't want them to leave the situation where they might come back with a gun and shoot you. Like you also don't want them to feel rejected. So you are always walking this tightrope of, and that's if you care. I'm saying some women are just like, get out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on one
second.
second.
Just drop a bomb.
Snarky dated a white guy? I don't have a bomb. You have clues, bomb?
The one I messed with was more direct than most of the rhythmics I've dated. Oh, okay.
She just skipped over the one I messed with as opposed to a rhythmic. So he must
tell
have been
us about Tyler, Snarky Mac, or Chad, or
Barry,
Connor,
Blake,
Dakota. Yeah.
Felonious.
Out in them streets.
But that's a whole Snarky Mac episode on Monday, right there.
So you imagine Snarky bringing a white man home to Mac Bro and rolling?
They probably would have been cool about it, I would think, right? But I don't know.
They were cool when James
like
knocked on the door.
Roland would come out with his tighty whities on and like a camel hanging from his mouth there. What's going on here?
What you want? What you over here for?
What you selling, boy? He was practically Teddy Pendergrass. All right.
A white Teddy Pendergrass. Dandy said Zach and Snarky Mac.
So who's the white Teddy Pendergrass? Bob Seger?
Ooh, better not say Ted
Who
Nugent.
is the white? Collie would say nougat.
Yeah. Don't get me down. Don't seriously, you've scared me before on this one. I'm not going down that avenue again.
And this is how I would always know. Because I don't have boyfriends, but I've probably had dated maybe equal amounts, or I probably dated more black dudes. But I don't know. I'm thinking, dang, that's okay. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Snarky out here like Eve, just marrying these white people or hanging out with these white people, and then she snuck back to the dark side though. So congratulations,
Snarky,
KB.
He was Willie, white man Willie. All right.
He must have been the one on that sign.
Huh. Oh, yeah. What was his name?
No, that was a sign we saw in LA, remember?
Yeah, the lawyer sign. He had a hood ass commercial,
Yeah,
but
I
he
forgot.
was
But he was a white dude.
something Jones.
Yeah, it was real pimpish.
Mm.
That lawyer commercial I saw was real pimpish.
Let me see. I'm on Google White.
I just hope his nickname wasn't Little Willie.
I know. I remember what I was gonna say.
Sweet Jones.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Was
how
it?
I would know, like, if I would go out with a particular white dude or not. If first conversation, if they mention anything about either being down or the black people they know or the kind of music they listen to, you know what I'm saying? Like, to give you clues that they're like a cool white dude, it was just like, no. Because if you're really cool like that, you don't have to
James.
You don't have to say it.
Chappie, the rest of us have crossed the racial barrier. Have you ever forayed outside of the Caucasians?
I know he's still there. I'm coming back here. Did he leave?
Sweet James. That's
Oh, there
it.
he is.
Sweet James.
Or is he
Chappie, did you
frozen?
recuse yourself from the conversation?
Chappie was like, I plead the fifth.
He's having a stroke.
Chappie, can you hear us?
Can you hear what we are
Oh, he
saying?
didn't.
Chappie was like, don't nobody know about those days.
He was like, they call him Sweet James.
Chappie was like, how did they know I was Sweet James?
He's like, I got warrants. Roland says Sweet James is Hispanic.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I lost you guys
Yeah,
there for a
30
second there. I had like an advert of an attorney and then couldn't hear you anymore.
You must be
So
in Houston.
There's an immigration attorney as well, so I don't know what the hell that means.
Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't. Seriously, it was an ad that popped up. Maybe I don't think I have YouTube Premium. I need to upgrade.
You left at the
What
most
was the question?
opportune time because I said, the rest of us have forayed outside of the racial lines. Have you ever dated outside of a Caucasian?
Yes, I have.
Let me guess. An Indian. That's
No.
why you like Indian food so much.
I've. It was a one night with a rhythmic lady.
Oh, a nice rhythmic lady.
Oh,
shit. Hold on.
They have a black person button.
All right. Chappie, tell us.
Yeah, it was.
It's when I was walking through Cabrini Green.
Yeah, was it Cabrini Green?
It wasn't Caprini Green. The only reason I left is somebody shot a hole through the window. No. It was not. That was like it was before I got married, and it was just at a bar. I met a lady. It was on Clark Street. There's a bar because there's so many bars in Chicago along that area anyway, and we had a fun evening. Let me put it that way. She was a Guinness drinker as well, which was always impressive.
Kendall says Oprah. Was
She must have been well traveled.
Yeah, were you the aggressor? Was she?
She was a local. Oh no, she was much more aggressive than me. I have to say, I was the submissive boy that day. I was the stuttering, stammering. I was the stuttering, stammering Hugh Grant that night.
Did you hesitate at all?
No, not at all. She had very long nails as well. I remember that, but they went right down the back a few times.
Uh-oh.
Chappie was like, "Thank you for
Chappie was putting in work." Do you recall her name?
Bring your ass.
I can't remember her
was
name.
Keisha's
Seriously,
name?
I only remember the names when people like take a piece of flesh out of my nipple. That's when I remember those occasions.
Get your ass over here, Benny Hill. I'm about to put this work on you.
Well, that's part of the foreplay. Me running around the room and her chasing me.
And his socks are going ding 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 with the little bells on.
I still had the socks pulled up. Never took them off.
So, Chappie, did you notice any differences? I'm very interested in your Like, was the encounter different than what you had experienced previous to that?
I think that I think black girls are more aggressive. I would say from that occasion anyway. I think she definitely was. I think the most aggressive black and Irish girls. But I think maybe it could be a revenge thing with the Irish girls, about the whole potato famine. So could be that problem going on. I'll give you a potato.
I'm learning so much about my friends tonight. This is great.
But it's funny. I can see how Irish guys kind of remind you of the Rhythmics. I can see that.
Kendall said Chappie won the Black Pea lottery too. I don't know what you can and can't say on YouTube.
Chappie, why are you passing up 2 lotteries to get to that lottery?
And it was a scratch off.
There was one lady though at university though, and she looked just like Scary Spice. She was absolutely beautiful, and I tried my hardest and never. It was always unrequited, to say the least. But she was one of the most beautiful ladies. I'm the naughty yachty, obviously.
Was she
who I've ever met.
With somebody at the time?
Yeah, no, she was with somebody, but I mean, in college, everybody sort of, relationships are fleeting, aren't they? So you never know. But but she was absolutely stunning.
Well, then your dad was like, "Well, son, you tried, and since you can't be with Scary Spice, go ahead and hook up with Jim. He's a nice looking young man."
I love the way your daddy wanted you to be gay because he liked your friend. Is that a joke or is that kind of serious?
No, I'm serious. He's still a huge fan. Whenever I speak to him, I mean, my dad's 75. He often will ask me, "Have you heard from Jim?" I still think this day. I mean, he loves Nicole, but yeah, I think he would have loved that. He wouldn't have minded if I'd walked down the aisle with a silky white veil on or anything like that. He wouldn't care. He would have blessed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, somebody is unblessing you right now. She's taking back all of your birthday gifts.
Oh yeah, Gabby's birthday's on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was on Saturday.
It was on Saturday.
I don't know if she has more of the problem with me, of my dad preferring me getting together with Jim, or the comment about Scary Spice. I don't know.
Chappie, is your dad still alive?
He is, yes.
Okay.
My mum and dad are still alive.
So I hope.
And my 95-year-old grandmother as well. So
wow, congratulations.
Oh, nice.
That's I'd love to bring a real estate party and meet my grandmother. That would be she's got a filthy sense of humor.
We could watch F.A.W.N together.
Exactly. I think she'd get a kick out of you. She's got a very good sense of humor.
Okay, so we have to we're going to London anyway, for my birthday. So, and it will be F1 season, but it'll be so November we're going to go meet the Chappies.
Let's go meet the Chappies.
And
we probably shouldn't call them that since that's not their names. You know how we call people by their pseudonyms, like how we say the Glitters and the Dreamers. I'm like, that is not their name. Gigi had a comment. I dated black in high school in my early 20s, but was always reminded by black women in my life that I was taking good black men off the market for them. I try to respect that piece. But I'm like, if they want to be off the market, they ought to be off the market.
Have you seen Instagram?
Because I'm right. You know what? It's something about living in California that taught me that. Because instead of worrying about them having their own agenda and dating everybody, just start dating everybody. Like, open up your pool of who you could be in a relationship with.
Dave was like,
well, so it's funny. I remember my first love, she's a black woman, and the hate we'd always get was from the black men and from the white women. So it was kind of that same energy of like, because she was an attractive female, so the black men felt like I had taken from their talent pool, and the white women, it was always older white women that seemed to have a problem, which it was hard to like I was disrespecting them or something. But it was always very subtle, passive aggressive behavior. It was never direct, really. I mean, the black man would walk right up to her in front of me, like, "Hey, you married?" And I had to go like, "Well, no, but technically." So that was a test.
The black women would do that?
No, the black men would walk up to her right in front of my face and be like, "So are you guys married or is this serious?"
Oh my God. Oh, just trying to do that. That happened when we were younger, and it was funny as time progressed and moved on, me and my ex, it happened less and less because the world was changing. But when we moved to California, it was almost like it almost didn't even exist. I mean, if it did, I had gotten so immune to it that I didn't notice it. But I think it also depends on where you live in the United States, if that's even an issue. Like in Texas, people just stared, but nobody said anything. But in California, it was like we were just a regular old couple.
Well, the funny thing about that is the people that did give you issues every now and then, they didn't realize that he could have pulled their throats out, and that would have been it for them. That they were messing with Jason Bourne.
Yeah, maybe that's
I would
what
love to have that kind of power.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it could have been just like intimidation because he looked like he could handle himself. But yeah, I don't know. And we just didn't live in, where we lived. It just wasn't a lot of black people to even have a lot of those problems.
Michelle said, Chappie, don't invite Jim to the wedding.
Well, I'm going to try to get Jim to come to the bachelor party, though. He's definitely coming to the bachelor party.
One last chance for Jim.
Not that.
There was my last dance.
All of a sudden, Chappie will be telling us in the winter, well, Nadi was mad at me because Jim and I ended up in the bed together because I let some other female like come over and sleep in the bed. I'm like, Chappie, again? You don't learn your lesson.
And then Jim got cold, so I had to go warm him up a bit.
Oh, British men,
like a little scared.
British men always keep the socks on, so it never a chance of cold feet.
Nadi's gonna be like, what's all that bell ringing in the other room? It's all socks.
Picture Chappie consummating with his socks on. Little bells.
Oh dear, right there. Right there. Crumbs.
Chappie, does Nadi Yachty make you take off the socks for amorous times?
Yeah, no, I had to take the socks off. I always leave the ascot on though.
Good.
But we'll use it as a blindfold.
Good call.
Wait, would y'all be weirded out? Would y'all care if somebody was like, yeah, but I'm never gonna take my socks off during the act, or I'm never gonna take something off during the act? Like, would that bother you?
Oh, we keep socks on at our house because it's cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
We always have socks on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Socks are like, I don't ever not have socks on. Even when I had on my Nike Crocs, a couple of days I had socks on in them. So socks are like Linus's blanket. It's a safety blanket for me. Especially with my feet.
Man-toe is gross.
So your feet don't look as good as your hands, and Dimitri, you don't go and get the cute pedicure.
So even when I did get pedicures, they still didn't look that great. And I only get pedicures in Denver. There's one person who can do it. And if she can't do it, then I don't get it done.
She works at Home Depot. She's in the heavy tool section.
No, she's at Lowe's.
Good
I don't
call.
support Home
Good
Depot.
call.
But Tia, I'm like you. Tia said like her husband is the only person she's ever really been in a relationship with. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna post that because Tia said, I don't date outside my race. And then she said,
I didn't mean to be so fiery.
No, that's good.
I've never dated outside my race. Because she said that her husband is the only person she's ever dated. I mean, like been in a real relationship with. It's the same for me. I've only been in a real relationship with him. Anybody else, I would just go out with a few times, and then I'd kick everybody to the curb.
But Tia, are you attracted to any white men? Because I remember Chris Rock had that bit. It was like the big problem with interracial dating is that Black women in general aren't attracted to white men. Tia, is there a white man who does it for you?
Chappie.
Well, obviously, but
Tia is quite fond of me.
Edmund likes to keep it at 85 degrees in here. Yeah, you can't wear socks in 85 degrees.
Ooh,
You can't.
Ouija said, I hate socks. I don't care if someone else does. Yeah, I don't care.
Roland says socks rule. Michelle is team socks.
If it's cold in there, I'm keeping my socks on.
We like our house hot. Sounds like it.
It sounds like they just open the window. Like, that's it. Like,
The chickens looking through the
outside,
window.
we just open the window.
Then Sade starts playing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wait, you'll get kicked off of YouTube for that.
Tia
Right?
said,
Yeah,
I never cared. People gonna date who they want to date. Oh, I wonder if she answered the question. But Tia, did you do you have like one of those celebrity crushes where you were like, oh, he's cute?
Tia's from Jersey. It's Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, right?
Tia's like, no, it's Mr. whatever his name was on Punky Brewster.
If that's
What
like
was-
And then she called him Mr. something.
I know Webster called
Ma'am and
Ma'am
George.
and George.
But what did Punky Brewster call her?
Was it Mr. Wanamont?
Not Watermont. Oh my gosh, she called him Mr. I think she said Mr. something. Because I remember thinking like it's not Dad.
Yeah,
Maybe at
Warnemont.
the end she did start calling him Dad.
Henry Warnemont.
See?
Was it Warnemont? Did she call him Mr. Warnemont or Mr. Henry?
Apparently.
It was
Apparently.
Mr. Henry. Remember, Michi, it was Mr. Henry.
Now, how do we know his last name was Wanamont?
I didn't know that was his last name because
I don't remember Henry.
Jerry called him Mr. Henry.
I just Googled it, so I cheated.
I was about to, but you beat me to it. So, and then you remember on Different Strokes when they were gonna change their last name to Drummond?
Yeah.
But then Willis was like, we can't, Arnold, because he's the last Drummond, but we're the last Jacksons. And then they didn't do it.
Last Jackson, somebody told a lie.
Or the last
I'm related to Jacksons on both sides of my family.
the last Jacksons in their branch.
I
You
know,
just
but
can't
I'm
go
just saying,
claiming
Drummond,
Jacksons.
that's not even a common name.
You go over to Catherine's house. Hey, we're Jacksons. You think she's gonna let you in?
Let me exactly. But put me in a mansion, raise me in a mansion, and watch how quickly I change my name.
When
Yeah.
I was 18, I offered to change my last name to my stepdad's last name, and he said, "No, that's okay." And I felt,
Yeah.
I felt a little rejected. I was like, "Oh, you don't want a white son? You don't want an actual white son?" Like,
There's enough Dave Jenkins out in the streets.
Did you ever talk to him about that later? Like, what was his? Why did he was just like, not a big deal. It's not gonna change us.
no, he was honored that I would do that for him, but he was like, "That's too much paperwork." So
Yeah, he was like, I got to
It is
take
a lot
off
of
work to do
paperwork.
this. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
And you have to put your name in the paper for like what, a month or 2 months, something like that. Then people
was
might
like,
find you. You already got warrants. So why would you do that to yourself? Roland put never watched Punky Brewster. Well, you were 50. You wouldn't be watching Punky Brewster. That was out of your you were watching 2020.
Charlie Chaplin silent movies.
I was gonna kick our ass.
Like, hey Roland, can you go for a minute?
He was saying in the chat that he says between Chappie and Rep, one's older and one's really close in age and one's the same age. That's what he was saying in the chat earlier, I saw.
If I had my Martin Luther King button up, I would put somebody told a lie.
Somebody told a lie one day.
While we were watching Punky Brewster, Roland was like, leave me alone. I missed Roots the first time. I'm not gonna miss it again. So
Bobby, didn't you put Martin Luther King in the chat today when I was doing my show?
I did.
Every time
I forgot what
see
you
Martin
lied
Luther
about.
King- So y'all, you know my show messed up this morning or this afternoon. So I ended up doing another show at 6:45 right before this show. And then I was like, he ended up putting that in the chat. And I was like, what is he talking about? I'm lying. It's funny how we know that means whoever that person is talking is lying.
Yeah, one of the most nonviolent people ever. We use his image as a bat signal for a lie.
Let people know you're lying.
Only us. And the real funny thing about it is Kendall throws it up too. The only one of us with the moral compass is just as ratchet as we are.
Yeah, that's so very true.
Kendall just contains it better than everybody else.
Yeah, Kendall can get ratchet too. He's very funny.
He's like Peter Brady when all the other kids were fighting and Peter was at the table just all peaceful and everything. It shows that that's what Kendall does and he's admitted to it. That he'll fart in the room and then walk out, and then we're all left in there fighting about it, and he's outside laughing.
On the cruise, Kendall was drinking and cussing. It's like a person I had never met before.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
for a bunch of like, who is this?
He said the MF word like twice, and every time he would say it, Dave was like, "What?"
It's not the Kendall I know for 20 years.
It was all that watered down. It was all that watered down tequila.
He probably thinks that these days you're older. His intern's old enough to hear this sort of language now. You know?
It is.
You're now a man.
That's funny. That wasn't even tequila. It was just water. They just put a splash in, and Kendall turned into a drunken sailor.
Just make the rim taste like it, just so he gets a little.
He's over there, Attica.
He didn't know that none of those shots had actual liquor in it. It was just
Tia's still avoiding the question. She don't like any white men. But she's being kind about it.
She liked George Michael.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He was a handsome man.
Jim was like George Michael, right, Chabby?
No, she said, I don't look at any that I would date them. So I could see that. That would be her answer.
Yeah, Rerun really got that locked down. She's not even free to imagine.
Tia has a Stevie Wonder cane so she can like walk with her eyes closed.
I wasn't looking at nobody else.
Tia Wonder.
Go Rerun.
Snarky, that's the way he is usually. It took me years to loosen him up. You've done the hard work, Snarky.
She's like, he didn't loosen up till last year.
It was cool to see him relax, though. I mean, not that Kendall's ever been uptight, but it was really neat to see him in vacation mode. I had spent so much time with him in a professional setting that like it was really cool to see him casual.
I felt so bad for Snarky and Kendall, especially Kendall for some reason, because I felt like he was being cruise daddy on his vacation. Like anytime we had a problem that was like the majority of us or whatever, it was like Kendall, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah, Kendall.
A reservation for 16 people at a sold-out restaurant in 5 minutes.
Exactly. And then Kendall go down and handle it, and he'll handle it too. It'll be taken care of. But I was like, no wonder they got away from us and went, finished their vacation.
Y'all didn't see Kendall on the crew deck talking about, hey, Playboy, who got that weed? So there's a side of him that you didn't see. Kendall did not do that, y'all. No. I forgot this lives forever. I have to be careful for what we say on here.
He's just about to sign his next huge radio gig, and he destroyed that now.
Just ruined it.
I'm Tyrese.
That morality clause.
Did you see? He's a drinker and a cusser, and he's buying weed on a cruise ship.
And he stabbed somebody.
He stabbed somebody.
Seacrest was about to retire, and he's going to take over on Kiss, and we messed it up the night before.
We're going to hear it on one of those shows. Did y'all know Kendall B was in the Klan? Like, what? How do you pull that off?
He made me work that cruise ship so him and Snarky can get a better deal.
And I was sleeping in the engine room. It was so hot. And they were sitting up there all comfortable in that damn hammock.
It's going to be one of those shows like how they talk about R. Kelly or Diddy. Surviving Kendall.
Kendall's gonna be like,
I don't know how to hog that, people. What would I hog that?
Oh
God. Oh, we've been talking for 2 hours. I smell food. Oh, that's the food I made the other night. Doreen is warming it up. Kendall said, thank goodness I didn't apply to the Christian hip hop station.
Not with us coming to follow you. You know we don't know how to behave when we all get together.
We don't know how to behave when we're not together.
We'll go in other people's chat acting up. Don't let it be two B's.
Oh, we used to do that all the time in AMP.
Oh yeah.
Like after the 16th Street Brawl or what did we name it?
The
tour brawling
riots, the Mountain Time riots.
Yeah, the Mountain Time riots. After that, we were just going looking for shows to disrupt.
It's a rolling gang of trolls.
What horrible people.
It's the Beehive, y'all.
Yeah, lock the door. Lock the door.
And it was Frank Lucas.
Or Tukey Williams.
Right.
Tukey Kendall.
Oh, goodness.
we disrupted some, and that's one reason I think Blue and we don't have the best relationship, because that first time she did Club Blue, I think I came in, I was talking about who likes to party, and from there it just went downhill. Like, we do not sell cocaine in this virtual club. I'm like, I was just asking who likes to party.
Oh boy, that Club Blue, man. I would go there, and then after the show was over, I would feel like I had really went to the club. That was so much fun. Amp was so much fun.
Yeah, it was all right.
It didn't start getting weird until the end, but it was fun when it was fun. It was fun to me. And then like her show, and then see Soul Boy's show, like you really felt like you were on the ship with the mermaid dancers. Oh man, I wish y'all. Chappie, you never been and see Soul Boy's show on Amp, had you?
He's on the same time as me, so
He was on the
I've
same
only
time?
listened to replays. I only joined Amp right at the end, so
okay. So you probably did.
I think the only two shows I knew was Stella's show and Pervy Playlist. They're the only shows that I really knew about until I mean you guys.
He doesn't do the show on Stationhead the way he did it on Amp, but you really were like on a cruise ship. He would have his mermaid dancers, like it was a whole big theme. Like it was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, he's a talented guy from what I've heard.
Yeah, he is.
Pity,
well, I
he's
can
not
still
doing the show.
part-time lesbian.
I need to get Gentry to ask him to redo our song, because he may not charge her.
Oh, did he try to get a talent fee out of you?
I didn't ask yet.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna let Gentry do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, see, would you like to redo our song? Meech will probably give you a little money for it. Just ask him.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna send him a message tonight. But I don't know. I kind of like our song though. I'm used to it. We're like, what, 20 shows in?
Mm-hmm.
And Kendall said he sings it in his head sometimes on Tuesdays.
I do too.
You also sing on White Girl News all the time.
Oh yeah.
That's catchy. That's an earworm.
It is. I love that one. Sometimes not even on the show. I'll just be in the car driving or doing something. I'm like, welcome to White Girl News.
That's what Starballs is for me.
Oh yeah, Starballs.
Man, Chad. Starballs.
Not the hits.
You know what? This feels so good because it's unscripted. We really didn't prepare anything. We should do this on a regular basis. It's like a end of the month dump about all of the horrible stuff or good stuff or whatever stuff that happened.
Yeah, we should have us four and then have like a rotating guest. Like we can have Uncle Dandy come up here. We can have Mickey come up here. I'm trying to think who else would. You know,
James wants to. James from Pedro wants to as well.
Yeah, we can have James from Pedro step up. Erica V. There are some people I'm not saying because I just don't think they would want to do it.
D Casillas told me GFY when I tried to get her to do a show with me.
You probably wouldn't want to do it either.
Yeah, she did the same to me. She gave me the soft blow off.
I'll think about it.
I asked her to come on the Friday Fandango and she wanted an appearance money in pounds. So yeah, couldn't afford it.
And I want my money in pounds.
In pounds.
Like,
Chappie comes with a sock full of money with the here it is, ching ding 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 ding. This pouring out his shillings.
Yeah, it's one of those bags with the drawstring on it. It's just a Crown Royal with some random gold coins.
Hey, I was literally gonna do that because there was an empty Crown Royal bag in my liquor cabinet. Because I use the same liquor from party to party.
Yeah.
And it was a Crown Royal bag, and I was thinking, how funny would it be if I took something and put it in that Crown Royal bag and then brought it on the ship? But I couldn't think of anything to put in it.
I always feel bad throwing away my Crown Royal bags because we go through a lot around here, and I wish I had something creative to do with them because they just seem too nice to throw away.
They are nice.
Well, you can buy Crown Royal
a liquor recycling thing where you can give back your Crown Royal bags.
Well, they have like Crown Royal velour tracksuits and stuff now. So
Just made out of Crown Royal bags.
I'm guessing so.
That actually takes me back to my wedding because it was basically a dry wedding because my ex-wife's family mainly was Baptist, but a couple of her dad's friends had bottles of Crown Royal, and I can't stand that stuff. So I had to get them to smuggle gin from the bar, and I was mixing it with iced tea. Now, gin and iced tea is a pretty good drink, and that was my go-to at any Baptist wedding I went to in the future. I'd always have, a few bottles of gin and just mix it with the iced tea.
That actually sounds really good right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I will go have me a spot of gin and iced tea as soon as we finish off the show. Pardon my haste. I'm going through buttons. Yeah, I think I'm out of stuff to talk about.
All right. Well,
unless Gentry wants
always
to.
fun.
Unless Gentry wants to what? Hit that like button. No, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to save it for the show on Tuesday. But you know how I told Doreen not to buy any Dolly Parton stuff? I don't want that stuff from this house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was saying that because I was going to sneak and buy her some.
Yeah.
It's all sold out.
I bet.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Dolly is taking over the world $3 at a time.
It's something about, I'm telling you, it's something about Dolly Parton. When I was a little girl, I liked her.
She gets the Betty White.
I liked my uncle, but I liked her.
Yeah.
I can see that. The Betty White treatment.
She's getting the like revered old white lady badge. Like it's got passed from Betty White to Dolly Parton.
She's been consistently good her whole career. And I don't just mean like in her talent. Her talent is unwavered too. But I mean like she just hasn't had any problems.
No. She's got a program throughout the country, and it's here in Denver, Aurora, her Imagination Library, where books can go to kids who don't have access. So like I'm Team Dolly all the way.
Yeah, Team Dolly.
You walk into Dolly Parton's library
now in her older age, and I'm so here for it.
Well, yeah, you walk into a library, and it's like Imagination Library. Or, I guess we have to imagine there's books in here. Ain't no books.
It's the Coat of Many Colors library.
I like her and Loretta Lynn because Loretta Lynn would like put hands on you, and she was gonna wait. Was it Loretta Lynn?
Loretta Lynn was the coal miner's daughter.
I liked her, and yeah, that is her. She was fighting people over Dew, right? Wasn't that was her husband's name? Doolittle or something. She's like, dude, you can't leave me. We should go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out. Maybe next time we'll.
Thank you, guys.
Not scripted, but have
you mean
stuff.
like have some stuff to talk about? Yeah.
This was purely off of talent and camaraderie
and vibes.
Yeah, I really love this. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thanks,
You are
guys.
listening to Three the
See you
Hard
soon.
Way with the Real Estate Poppy, everyone's favorite Doreen.
I mean, it is 3 the Hard Way channel.
And
I know that ain't who I think it is.
the Vice Queen of H-Town, Jen Glenn.
I didn't play it during our show, so I want to make up for it.
Brandon.
All right, bye, y'all.